Welcome back. Day 9 Daily 620, we were watching how Polt wins games. Yeah. We saw a little bit of a hectic game come up with some concepts really shine through. The fact that Polt is cutting a lot of his starport production in order to favor the Marine Marauder production. I realized I had an error in my notes. The less than 10 minutes and 13 minutes is if he opened up with a heavy macro, or excuse me, with if he opened up with a very fast command center and just got his early macro started. So that's where I was getting the incorrect numbers from. The more accurate numbers that I want to roll with in these games is around 10 minutes equals 4 to 5, and around 13 minutes equals 6, 7, and 8. This is the barracks count, and these are the times about when you will see them. This is averaging for if he did early aggression and gets them a little later, or games where he gets 3 orbital commands early and has the money to get those earlier. But we're still going to see 10 minutes for the extra barracks, 13 minutes for the final round of barracks, and a really low medivac count. And in fact, when faced with the decision to go medivacs or Vikings, Polt went medivacs in these sort of small, middle-ish numbers. Not a lot of drops. Things tended to be very to the front. But that game might have been a little bit more hectic than what would be normally going down in TvP. Let's see how Polt plays if he is not really under a huge amount of pressure. So I'm going to speed things up. So Polt goes for the usual 12 barracks, 12 refinery to get up a reactor. He goes for this Reaper, followed by this block, which will again delay his entire plan a little bit, hopefully delaying his opponent's plan a little bit more. But that plan is still the same, to get the barracks 4 and 5 as quickly as possible. AQAP, is that a word? And then to follow it up with barracks 6, 7, 8 coming out quite swiftly. So we saw, oh yeah, right after that reactor gets started, pulling everything out of gas, save 1. Building this barracks whenever money was available, and then building barracks 3 whenever money is available. A mothership core comes in. Ooh, if that mothership core got stuck back here, or if it died, or if it had to throw a time warp, you know Polt would instantly get himself a concussive shell and push. But since he didn't see that, he's just going to get the tech lab and go for stim. Now that this tech lab started, 3 go back into gas to make sure that Polt has enough gas to get all his later on gassy things. And this is why pulling and putting things in and out of gas is very vital, because we want to make absolutely certain that our build times itself. Whenever we have the money to build a factory, we build a factory. 6:30, we see our second refinery go down. A little after then is when we see our factory go down. I will note, in a time like this, I think one of the easiest things to do is to go, oh my gosh, factory, because I have enough gas. That's the incorrect way to think about it. Never stop building workers. Never stop building out of these barracks. If you want to save money, get Marine instead of a Marauder out of this tech lab barracks. Only 1 Marauder out for Polt. If you want to get that factory early, then delay this refinery, or delay when you put these dudes back into gas. Polt is just going to be continuing to flood, gets his factory shortly thereafter. 2 SCVs all the time. Oh, your Marines, Polt. Polt, there we go. There's his next round of units. Engineering bay plops down right after the factory. Now, we did see a small little pack of Marines move out. I'm literally going to ignore it because it winds up not really being particularly relevant in this game anyways. Right as our factory finishes, the 3rd refinery goes down. This 4th refinery is not going to go down for quite some time. This engineering bay gets himself a +1 upgrade. And then the swap occurs. Now, how many medivacs do we think Polt is going to be making? He's going to be making 4. And then he's going to chill. Combat shield, fortunately not going to be forgotten this game. Very nice. It's very good to have combat shield. is the... Oh my god. Oh my god, the sound was off. Wow. That hasn't happened in part 2 in a long time. I was rocking out to the music in break, so I disabled the... disabled all the soundies. Okay, cool. So, around 10 minutes will be a little later in this game because of the early Reaper and Engineering Bay harass. Would be a little earlier for the barracks timing if we went command center first. But overall, 10 minutes is generally when we see barracks 4 and 5 approximately go down. And there they are. So we have some medevac pressure being applied at the front. I will still very seriously emphasize that this starport is not going to be building medevacs for a little while. So to do so, we're going to remember that we're at 10:30, and then I'm just going to hit the fast forward button. Building 2 Vikings, fine, but look at how idle this starport is. Look at that idle-ass starport doing nothing, man. Look at how not busy that starport is. Oh my god. Oh, Joe, the starport, it's no... And there. Whoo, baby. For almost a full 2 minutes, it was doing like nothing, man. So we'll just note that we have that in the back of our heads. So when these medevacs come out, we built a round of Viking, but damn did we ever not get a lot of stuff out of that. So Polt continues his production of the combat shield. Kind of actually hilarious to see how unbuilt stuff is from here. Can you believe how unbuilt that is? Oh my god, that's like so unbuilt. So there's the 3rd command center going down. We see all these SCVs transferring. A little bit uneven on the worker stuff, but that's just because the extra SCVs up to 16 are building right now. It's not that Polt transferred down to 12. And even under the midst of harassment, wow, Polt sees Storm. Wouldn't you think that you should begin going for ghosts? Hell no. I said around 13 minutes is the number we look for when we see Polt's games. Polt ain't dropping in the back. He's not trying to pierce in there. Of course, we see the armory go down. We see the engineering bay go down to try to go toe-to-toe with this very hairy-looking storm-based force with some nice upgrades. We don't want to get out-upgraded if our opponent is going for fast upgrade. But right around 13 minutes. Oh, God, it's 13 minutes. Right around now. We still see almost no new medevacs out. Actually, I think this is like oh no, these guys I think are a brand new fresh round. But look at that. Bunch of barracks going down just after 13 minutes, thanks largely in part to the fact that this starport was idle for almost a full 2 minutes. That's where the money's coming from. Notice how not aggressive Polt is. He's just taking map control. See these Marines spread around, the Vikings spread out to pick off the drops. By the way, this is one of the reasons why I say it's almost never wrong to build these 2 Vikings as is. Because you'll pick off a Warp Prism if he's going for Templar, or you'll have the opportunity to deal some damage to a Colossus if he's going for Colossus tech. So, okay. I will now reveal the every cam so we can see kind of what we're dealing with. 9 High Templar in production. We see Alicia going for the good old Robo. How's Polt going to answer? Only after he gets those extra barracks down, and only after he starts his gas-heavy upgrades, do we actually see the Ghost Academy down. And Polt is not actually waiting at all for the ghosts. He's pushing, and he's doing direct pushes at the front, not a ton of drop-based stuffs. And again, what makes Polt's gameplay so cool is that really once these 5 barracks are done, and he's gotten a round or 2 out of them, Polt just drills the front. And because he got those barracks 6, 7, and 8 around 13 minutes, he can continue rallying to the front lines without much fear. Now here's a quiz. How many ghosts do you think Polt is going to wait for before he goes and attacks?
Add-on complete.
Take a guess. Second starport is just how you round out your buildings. You're always going to want 2 starports by the end of the game. So we have 2 ghosts coming up. And, well, it looks like Polt's not really waiting for them. He's continuing to try to apply pressure. And just drilling up on end. So it looks like 0 was the answer. He's just going for it. Yes, 0. There's a lot of people who said 0. Good for you. You've been paying attention to how I set things up. Yeah. No crazy drops happening at the back.
Upgrade.
No needless sacrifice of units in prayer that will kill off a lot of probes and hopefully feel justified in ourselves. After everything gets completely destroyed, how many Vikings now that Colossi have been seen? How many Ghosts now that High Templar have been seen in the Force? 3 Ghosts, 7 Vikings, and 10 medivacs, a whopping 10, to reinforce this sickeningly high production.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Few snipes, lose the Ghosts, no problem. Not a problem at all. Stupid numbers of Marine Marauder. Just an insane amount of bio. There's even like a good amount of Immortals in the Force. Just gets wrecked. Just completely smoked.
Is under attack.
Really sick to see. Super duper sick. Vikings land, and kind of something that we've talked about before, but I wasn't emphasizing for the last minute. I will pull back to the 18.5 minute mark. What's going down in production? Almost always we would think that that V button would be getting spammed to make sure the Viking count stays high, that our Ghost count stays high enough. Hell no, man. If we're in mid to low numbers, look at the macro bar. I'll even pull all the way up here. It's just bio. Marauders and Marines.
Upgrade complete.
Medivacs to go along with them. That extra starport we built, only for the medivacs.
Base
So I'm going to hit the plus button. We're just going to watch from to the end what this production bar says.
Can't hold him alone.
Yep, just medevac, Marine, Marauder. In fact, his whole army is actually dead. You can see on the mini-map, there's the actual army down there, but 2 Ghosts
Base is under
continued
attack.
attacking, and this attack actually closes out the game.
I'm in a world of hurt.
Upgrade.
Wanders up into the main base.
Mineral field depleted. Upgrade complete.
That attack successfully killed the Nexus. So this is just a cleanup force that has how many Ghosts in it? How many? 2. All the rest bio. Totally
Base
kick
is
ass.
under attack.
It's kind of impressive to see how effective good attack timing and smart macro planning is. Alicia is an absolute killer Protoss vs. Terran player. Like, really good, beat MVP in the last WCS Season 1 championships. Like, really nice. And just, like, killed so badly. My screen blips, want to make sure that the audio is still good. Still good audio? Are we still good audio? That's right, and his random button says Ghosts are not bio. They're Ghosts, man. They don't count as bio. Ouch. Dude, my left eye is feeling very dry today. The right eye's fine. The right eye's feeling nice and moist, but the red eye's like, no, we're just gonna be glassy and in pain. It's fine. It's totally cool by me. You know what? Let's actually I want to open up this game. I think that because we're want to make sure we have a nice 20-minute part 2. We're just gonna open up this and go through it very quickly. It's gonna be pretty similar to the first game we saw. This is between Polt and IG Jim. We're going to remember some of the things that went down in Game 1 in Part 1. We're seeing the same structure. We'll see some games where Polt does in fact go for this command center first sort of thing. But I just want to remind, there it is, 1 in the gas. Expand. We're going to see some Marines. We're going to see a barracks come up. Cool. We're going to see another barracks, and when that extra barracks comes down, we're going to see a tech lab. But what do you know? Jim accidentally lost track of this and recalled out. Okay, cool. My opponent is not going to be anywhere close to getting up what he needs in time. So I'm going to get my concussive shell and push. Right around 6:30, the refinery got started up there. And right when the factory is around finishing up, that's when this refinery gets started. Marching forward, Marauder leads it. You don't have photon overcharge, and you're gonna need it. Oh, my name is Polt, and I'm hurting your face. Taking you down to Polt Town. So yeah, it goes down right now, but that's not gonna be soon enough. So nice. Oracle comes in, harassment. Oh goodness, how's it gonna affect our build? What if it affects our build? Ah! Have no fear for Watch Super Polt. Bring the noise. We saw that little variant from Game 1. What do you know, at the 10-minute mark, he teased us with those barracks. He planted them and then canceled them. But that's fine. He's been under some harassment. He did a little pressure at the start, so these are naturally going to get delayed, but still getting them AFAP as fast as possible. There's medivacs popping out. This is not a drop. This is a fast walk to the front. Now, this starport makes sense because our opponent not only showed us that he's going starport, we also scanned, and you can barely see there, but that's a Phoenix animation in there. So Polt knows he's going to be up against Phoenix and Colossus. So what we've been seeing almost everyone do is just flood tons of Vikings, trying to get out as many Vikings as humanly possible, going absolutely nuts with that. Yeah, sure, Polt is going to try to get Vikings out. He is going to be getting his second starport out, and that's fine. But Polt is still gobbling up map control, and he's just producing out of this third one. Not getting a reactor add-on. It is false that as Terran you need as many reactor add-ons as you can humanly possibly get. Because, my god, even though Vikings are good against that air stuff, Polt is aware that he's locked his opponent in on 3 bases. He has locked it, or excuse me, he's locked his opponent in on 2 bases, and Polt is going up to 3 bases. Because Polt knows that he is going 3 base versus 2 base, he can still focus on bio, because this bio is good in mid numbers, and especially in small numbers. So, you heard me say, around 13 minutes, we get these other things. We took a couple of detours. We lost some workers to an Oracle at the start of the game. And we built the second starport. But do keep in mind, even with those small detours, as fast as humanly possible, Polt is focusing on getting these barracks units up. His unit count, not a tremendously high Viking count, but a soon-to-be tremendous amount of bio. And without even really that much stuff, just a simple flank in an open field, Polt wrecks Jim. Pretty good, no? Pretty good. Pretty cool. Let's see. I think we'll wrap up part 2 in just a moment. Let's go ahead and watch. Let's watch part of this game. This is another game versus Oz on Newkirk Precinct. Newkirk Precinct is a map where we like to talk about being very drop heavy. We like to talk about as much as attacking as we can. But when we watch this game, keep in mind what Polt's theme has been, and we'll see how it translates to this map in a different build order. So, okay, cool. We see these very simple themes from Polt arise again and again, though it requires a lot of precision to get those SCVs out and a lot of mechanical demand to get out as many good engagements and good control fights as we can. To do all that sort of stuff is certainly challenging, but conceptually, not building a lot of medivacs, getting our barracks count up very high, not favoring ghosts and Vikings if we can keep our opponent low on units by attacking or by containing. So we're seeing, whoa, Polt's doing something totally nutty and different. Polt is going to send out an SCV scout. We're not going to go too much into the timing. This is more of a conceptual moment. Sees the expand. Ah, safety. Safety abound. Safety. Safety everywhere. Polt is going to be doing the smart, intuitive thing. Killing the probe with Marines. Very good. Very good intuition there to kill off a scout. I like it. Shows class. Okay, cool. Now, though this may look like a completely different build, wow, going for a third command center couldn't be more different. We'll see it converge. Polt's going to get those gassers up right away, is going to get his bunker up right away. A much more macro-oriented style, as the internet would call it. Sure, Scouting Mothership Corps picks off a single one of those SCBs, But hey, we got him contained. Maybe we can open up an attack opportunity for ourselves. Maybe we can. Either way, I'm just going to come back and note that Polt is in fact going for the long term. You don't have to go for concussive shell pushes every single time. It's fine to just go for the long-term focus. But now in this position, with all this extra money from these earlier command centers, remember we say about 10 min is racks 4 and 5, about 13 min is racks 6, 7, and 8. So Polt's gonna take some creative liberties with he's gonna take some creative liberties with this situation he's in. And just note that most Protosses will really be completely unable to attack at this moment in time, so he'll go ahead and throw himself down. The early infantry armor. And let me just note a general timing for any of you players who love doing this sort of early third command center, or just who like this formation, where you get 1 barracks with a tech lab and 2 barracks with no add-on. It's excellent to throw down the add-ons, 2 reactors or reactor tech lab, and then build your extra barracks during that time. So let's see if we can spot it in action. Ho! Reactor tech lab. Ho! There it is, going down. So again, it's around 10 minutes. It's a little earlier than the previous 2 games. Or actually, the previous 3 games. So in the previous 3 games, Reaper and Engineering Bay, Harass was the opening. In this game, got a little bit earlier, so we get him sooner. But it's still the same theme, the same through line. Pressure is happening where? At the front? Move outs and move backs are fine. Around 10 minutes is when the barracks comes up, favoring the armory, getting the precautionary missile turrets up. And I kid you not, Polt does this like clockwork. He's going to get these 2 extra medivacs, but holy cow, look at these extra barracks, huh? Look at these. Normally, 13 minutes is around when we're seeing them. Polt's just sprinting right on up, man. Now, the money can't come from nowhere. We can't just suddenly get a lot more stuff than should be fair. Holy jeez. He's getting a starport too? He must have lost his mind. Nope, look at that. Look at this idle starport. I know there's all this action going on down here, but look at the timer, look at the starport. Oh, here he's going to flood with a whole lot of add-ons. I betcha. Wow, look at that starport not doing anything. Woo! Oh, he's going to get 1 Viking. Whoa, guys, call the cops. This guy's built out of his starport. He's lost his mind. And then when that's done, wow, he actually is building Vikings. So it's only about 90 seconds of idle time there. Whew, what a relief. But we see that thematically, Polt has the same concepts. Right around 10 minutes these go down, and around 13 minutes these extra barracks go down. Normally it's quite hard to get the barracks out long before 13. But in this circumstance, Polt got his 3rd command center up so early that he was able to. So I want to just take a moment to tie this all together, because it's very easy to look at what Polt's doing and to see it as different build orders doing different things, but it's the same themes. So thematically, not really getting much more than 4 medivacs. Trying to get barracks 4 and 5 out a-quap as quickly as possible. And then trying to get barracks 6, 7, and 8 out as quickly as possible. Most of the time, it will be 10 minutes is when you'll get barracks 4 and 5. And around 13 minutes is when you'll get barracks 6, 7, and 8. If you do more aggression early on, like with a Reaper Engineering Bay build, those will be pushed back slightly. If you go super power heavy, like Polt, and go command center, double barracks, command center, then yeah, you'll be able to get those barracks 6, 7, and 8 out much faster. But if you do something in between, like go for barracks, expand, 3 racks, command center, 2 barracks, and then 3 barracks, like you'll be more in the, you'll be closer to those 10 and 13 minute marks. So you'll sort of shrink it or stretch it a little bit. But the important thing is those barracks coming down. More often than not, we see Terran players flooding nonstop out of the starport, or we'll see players trying to get the ghosts really, really quickly, emphasizing the Vikings and medivacs instead of emphasizing the Marine Marauder. So when we come back, we're going to finish this game and watch one more to close it out. And then we'll take questions. I lost my pen cap. 10. No, I don't need to count down to a break. That doesn't make any sense. Look, we're just on the break. Seriously, look, there it is on the screen.